Hi there! These lovely people are my Patreon and Ko-fi supporters. It's thanks to them that I get to make these videos, as well as go to conventions across the state. If you want to join them and help support free cosplay repair, you can click the link in the description box below. Thanks so much, and I hope you enjoy the video! Hi there, my name is Lexi. I'm the Cosplay Cleric. I go to conventions across the west coast of the United States just to fix costumes, cosplay, garb, fursuits, etc. One of the things that I like to do at conventions is do workshops, and my most popular workshop is on contact lenses. And one of the things that I noticed is that there's not really a very good comprehensive contact lens video for cosplayers on the internet, so we're here! Hey! And I really wanted to make this video a good one. So in the description I have time cards to all of the topics that I'm covering today. And then if you have any additional questions or anything like that, please do not hesitate to contact me. This is one of the things that I personally champion as the Cosplay Cleric, because if you screw up your eyeballs, that's kind of permanent. Yeah. And with the vast majority of Americans considering sight as their most used sense, it's very important that you take care of your contact lenses and your eyeballs. So I wanted to make a decently good video about contact lenses and the cosplay community. The first thing that I want to talk about is that none of my advice supersedes the information that you get from your personal doctor, okay? Contact lenses begin and end with an optometrist, especially here in the United States. Most people seem to think contact lenses are an accessory. They are not. They are a medical device because they go into your eyeballs. Because they go into your eyeballs, there is an increased risk of anything from partial to total, temporary, or permanent vision loss from contact lenses and from the improper use and care of and improper wearing of contact lenses. So it's very, very, very important that you take this extremely seriously and listen to a optometrist or doctor who knows your specific eyeballs, because not everyone's eyeballs are exactly the same. Not everyone's eyeballs fit contact lenses exactly the same, and that's the be-all end-all of it, is that you need to see an optometrist. In the United States, it is required by the FDA that you get a prescription for contact lenses before you purchase contacts. The reason for it is that if you do not know how to put in the contact lenses, how to take them out, or how to care for them, you can completely destroy your eyeballs. I have so many horror stories, and I don't want anyone else to be one of them. So let's start with optometrists, your eye doctor. Getting a prescription from an optometrist is actually pretty easy, but there are some things that you want to know when you're going in for colored contact lenses, or we in the business would call them Halloween lenses, versus clear lenses for correcting your vision. So generally speaking, when you are purchasing contact lenses or when you are trying to get an appointment for contact lenses, the first thing that you want to do is you want to call up a couple of doctors, especially if you've never been to an optometrist before. So what you're going to do is you're going to call up the local optometrist. Generally, there are, I would say, corporate locations, so you know, your Costco's, your Lens Crafters, anything that's in the mall. If they have more than one store, I would recommend against getting a appointment with them, and here is why. Corporate optometrists have clauses in their contracts that make it so that they can't really work with contact lens providers outside of what they are contracted to sell. Or they cannot write prescriptions specifically for colored contact lenses. So definitely that is something that you should talk about when you are calling to make an appointment with an optometrist. Generally, I recommend going with family doctors. A lot of times family or small optometrists will be a little bit more expensive, but you're also working with someone who is a part of your community. You're also working on, most of the money that you're giving is actually going to be going to the optometrist, not to, you know, some big conglomeration somewhere in the other part of the world. So, and also generally family doctors are a little bit more forgiving about colored contact lenses than corporate doctors. So you have your appointment. What do you need to do now when you go in to see the doctor? Well, first, the main thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to look at insurance. If you have health insurance, double check and see if you also have vision insurance, because they're two different things and they get complicated fast. So generally know the provider for vision care that you use. The main ones that I remember are going to be VSP or IMED. Those are the big two, but there are others. And generally these insurances will cover a singular prescription eyeglasses exam, so that's your general exam, as well as some portion of your contact lens exam, depending on your specific plan. So double check that before you go in to see your doctor. The other thing that I would do personally is I would look up what kind of contact lenses you want to use. So if you already have done your research and you've looked at a couple of different colored contact lens providers, bring that information in with you, particularly these two things, the diameter and base curve of the lenses that you would like to wear. Bring those in with you when you go to see the doctor. And definitely talk with your doctor about the fact that you are trying to get a prescription for colored contact lenses, because it can change what the doctor will recommend for you, as well as how the doctor will train you in terms of putting in and taking out your contact lenses, because different contact lenses have different thicknesses, different widths, different curves, and we'll talk all about that a little bit later. Here's what to expect at the appointment itself. When you go in to see the doctor, there's going to be two parts to the exam, generally speaking. The first part is going to be the prescription for your eyeballs. So everyone, just about everyone that I have ever met, requires some kind of prescription or another, but generally this is so slight that it's negligible. And some people do actually have 20/20 vision straight off the bat with no problems. Some people do, some people don't. You might go in and find out that, yeah, you do actually need corrective lenses and have all your life, and trees have leaves, because that's actually a pretty common thing. The things that you might see at the doctor's office, you're going to go through a couple barrages of tests. They're going to see how well you can see at a distance, as well as how well you can read close up. They're going to see what the diameter and base curve of your corneas are, and that can determine what kind of fit you get for contact lenses. From there, generally, you're going to have a contact lens fitting. Whether or not this fitting is for prescription lenses depends on whether or not you need prescriptions. But generally, you're going to walk away from the entire exam with a prescription or two. I have mine here, so I'll tell you what the prescriptions mean and what you're looking at. So this is a prescription from a lens crafters. That's where I used to work. It's called Eye Exam of California. Looks like this. It's a fun piece of paper. But if you notice, there are several lovely little letters on there, or lovely little numbers on there. There are the sphere, cylinder, and axis. That entirely relates to, so sphere, cylinder, and axis, that entirely relates to the prescription of the lenses. Generally, if you're just going with colored contact lenses, you can completely ignore that entire portion. That is a prescription for glasses. Now I'm going to show you a prescription for contact lenses. This is my contact lens prescription, right here. As you can sort of see, I'm pretty blind. I have really bad eyeballs. But there are 5 numbers when it comes to contact lens prescriptions that you are going to need to be aware of. They are the base curve, the diameter, the sphere, the cylinder, and the axis. Like I said before, sphere, cylinder, and axis relate entirely to the prescription of the contact lenses themselves, the correction of the lenses. If you're going with contact lenses that have no power, basically no correction, all of those numbers are going to be 0. Okay? So the main numbers that you want to worry about if you're just going for color change is going to be the base curve and the diameter of the lenses. These two are actually very, very important. No two people's eyeballs are exactly the same, and the curve of the cornea determines what curve of the lens you need. If you get a lens that is too shallow for your eyeball, it's going to pop right off, and if it's too deep, it might end up actually cutting off circulation to your eyeballs. So be very aware and very careful when it comes to getting contact lenses that are a different base curve than what you're actually using or what you've actually been prescribed. Okay? So once you walk out with a prescription, you can go to any contact lens supplier and purchase contact lenses. Generally speaking, you do need to have a specific prescription for each brand of contact lens that you purchase. So for example, if you are getting a prescription filled for contact lenses that are AccuView Oasis, for example, they're going to have a different base curve and diameter from some other contact lenses, and you can't purchase those other contact lenses without having the base curve and diameter match the prescription. Okay? So if the base curve and diameter match, you should be good to go. If they don't, try and find a different supplier that matches the base curve and diameter of the prescription that you're purchasing from. Contact lenses can take anywhere from a week to 3 or 4 months to arrive, depending on where you're purchasing the contact lenses from. The best places to get your contact lenses from are places that require a prescription before you can purchase them. If they don't require a prescription, generally those places are pretty sketch, and you shouldn't purchase your contact lenses from them. So I tend to avoid them, but then again, I have also purchased contact lenses without a prescription before. So it is a risk. Especially because you don't know where those contact lenses are coming from. What contact lens brands do I recommend? I actually can't tell you because I'm not a doctor. I'm not an optometrist, so I can't actually recommend brands of contact lenses to you. That is something that you need to talk to your doctor about. Where can I purchase contact lenses? Again, that's not something I can tell you, but a quick Google search will be able to pick up some things. What I can tell you is don't purchase your lenses from Uniqso. No. Uniqso, no. The contact lenses that I have seen from there have been nothing but poor quality lenses. And I don't particularly like their company policies either. So I cannot recommend them. So, you have now purchased your contact lenses, you are waiting for them to arrive. Let's go over insertion, removal, and care of your contact lenses. The number one rule of wearing contact lenses, above all else, when in doubt, take them out. Don't ever put in contact lenses or take out contact lenses if your eyeballs don't feel right. And you'll be able to tell if your eyeballs don't feel right. So, when you're first opening a pack of contact lenses, this is what's called a blister pack. It looks kind of like this. I can't move it over because you're going to end up... Well, actually, let me pull up. There's the other one. This is called a blister pack, named because it looks like a blister. And this is what your contact lenses look like when you first order them and when you first get them out of their case. Generally what I do is I take a clean finger after I've just washed my hands, put it on the outside of the lens, and pull. Generally you're going to try and not touch the inside of the lens, but sometimes it's kind of inevitable. Alright, so after you've gotten the lens out of the blister pack, this is what they look like. If my camera will focus here. Come on, camera, focus on the lens. There are a couple of ways to tell whether or not your contact lens is inside out or right side in. Generally what I do is I take a look at the lens on my fingertip, and if it is making a cup or bowl shape, generally it's pretty good. If it is making a shape that looks like almost a dinner plate, that means that it's inside out. Although with colored contact lenses, it's a lot easier to tell because the inside isn't quite as colored as the outside of the lens. Now, after you have removed the contact lens from its blister pack, always a good thing to do is to rinse the lenses with some kind of contact lens solution. Again, brand, not something I can tell you because it's up to you and your doctor. Generally check the ingredients label to see whether or not, I'm actually opening up a new one here because I needed to get a new one. Check with your doctor and make sure that the type of contact lens solution you are using is something that you're not going to be allergic to or not have problems with. Good practice is always to open up your contact lens solution and rinse off the inside and outside of any new lenses. This is something that I generally do every time I get new lenses because I don't know what that solution is, particularly with some contact lens manufacturers. You don't know what's in the solution that they came in. I have had some people come in who have gotten contact lenses online and they put them directly into their eyes from the blister pack, and it turns out that they were stored in hydrogen peroxide. That stung like a mother. Don't do that. Okay, so now the lens is rinsed. We are ready to go. Generally, I do 3 drops on the inside of the contact lens, 3 drops on the outside, and that usually works. So now we are going to put the contact lenses in, and I am absolutely blind, so hopefully this is all going to stay in focus. If you're working with your left eye, I would recommend putting the contact lens on your left finger, or left index finger, using your middle ring and pinky fingers to pull down on the lower eyelid here, okay? And then using your other hand to pull your upper lid up. I generally look upwards when putting in the contact lens and then look at my finger. And that helps me kind of not freak out as much, I guess. There we go. My lenses are in. Now I can put my glasses back on and actually be able to see. Okay, so those are my eyeballs with some scary contact lenses in. I personally prefer scary contact lenses because I do a lot of haunts and a lot of scare acting, so I prefer the scarier lenses. When you're ready to take the contact lenses out of your eyeballs, go ahead and wash your hands again. Make sure that you have your contact lens solution available, as well as a contact lens case. That's what these are. Please remember which side is going to be the right and which side is going to be the left. It is not a good idea to switch which contact lens goes in which eyeball, because sometimes there are bacteria that build up on one eye that don't go over to the other. So it's a good idea not to, absolutely not to, switch contact lenses between your eyes or after applications. So I'm going to show you how I take out the contact lenses now. So first thing you're going to do is wash your hands. Always, 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 always wash your hands before taking in or putting in or taking out contact lenses. The second thing that I do usually is I take the contact lens case and I fill it up with a little bit of solution. Always change out your solution in between uses of your contact lenses. Okay. So once you're finished, once you put these back in later on after you've taken them out, remember to throw out the solution that's in here. You don't want to keep reusing solution because that can end in eye infections. All right, so we're going to take out the contact lenses. And the way that you do that, again, same kind of method, the claw method. One hand up, one hand down. Put your finger on your cornea. Pull down. And then pinch the contact lens right out. Comes out pretty easily. The amount of pressure that you want to use when you're pinching the contact lenses out is about the same amount of pressure as it does to pick up a piece of paper from the table. You don't want to use less, or else you're just going to be slipping and sliding everywhere. And you don't want to use more, because otherwise you can scratch the sclera, that's the white part of your eyeball, or you can scratch your cornea, and that hurts a lot, so don't do that. Once you've taken the contact lens out, what you're going to do is you're going to take your solution again. You are going to put 3 drops on the inside of the contact lens, and you are basically going to take your finger and gently rub the contact lens from the middle to the outside. Don't ever rub in a circle, because what that's going to do is it can tear the contact lens. So, like so. Sometimes these get stuck on my finger, which is a pain in the butt. Okay. You've rinsed the inside of the contact lens out. Now you're going to rinse out the outside. Same thing. A couple drops. And then just kind of swipe the lens. And then this is my right contact lens, so I usually use the colored cap to denote the right. I just plop it right into the case. And done. We're going to do that again with the other eye. So again, and I generally pull off of the cornea, and you can tell when you're touching the contact lens versus touching your eyeball, because touching your contact lens isn't going to sting, touching your eyeball stings. Generally, I pull off of the cornea because it's easier to remove the contact lens when it's not on your corneas versus when it is on your corneas. So, here we go. That is my contact lenses. All nice and clean and ready for the next costume. Now, some contact lenses, in between uses, you're going to want to care for them. Generally speaking, my recommendation is once every week to once every 2 weeks, going in and taking a look at the inside of these cases, making sure that there's no protein buildup or no ink or gunk that's getting into the contacts themselves. I usually refresh the contact lens solution about once every 2 weeks to once every week, depending on the lenses. Some lenses can last you as long as a month, some lenses can last you as long as a year. So double check with your contact lens manufacturer once you get your contact lenses to see how long they last, okay? Because contact lenses are not meant to be worn forever. Do not wear your contact lenses when you are sleeping. That is a general rule that most contact lens wearers follow, but don't try as much as you can not to wear the contact lenses when you're sleeping. Try to avoid smoking when you're wearing contact lenses, because that can also irritate your eyes and make it difficult to put in or take out contact lenses. Some good things to know when you're wearing contact lenses is about stuff like contact lens drops. These are re-wetting drops that you can find in the supermarket right next to contact lens solution. Depending on your eyeballs and how well they take to preservatives can change what brand you use. Again, brands aren't something I can really talk about, but if you use the same brand, you're going to recognize the bottle, unfortunately. But these are contact lens re-wetting drops. Generally, when you're wearing contact lenses, over time they can dry out. So I usually use these about, I want to say once every 3 or 4 hours that I'm wearing contact lenses. You're not supposed to go over a certain amount of drops per day, just simply because these do have preservatives in the drops, and that can affect your eyes. Generally, most people, I don't think it's supposed to be 1 to 2 drops as needed or directed. Yeah. Yeah. So generally, these drops, most doctors don't recommend that you use more than 6 drops per eye per day. Some doctors recommend even less than that, so talk to your doc about how much you can use these. But these make wearing contact lenses so much more comfortable, especially colored contact lenses. The second thing that I want to talk to you about is about Those are about radial symmetry versus bilateral symmetry when it comes to contact lenses. I'm pretty sure everyone has seen these lovely things, these lovely contact lenses. This is what happens when you purchase lenses that have bilateral symmetry and they're not weighted. They're going to rotate over time. So it's not something that I generally recommend. It does look funny though. So if you're interested in the cross-eyed demon look, these are the lenses for you. But generally, when it comes to purchasing contact lenses like these ones, you're gonna want to go with weighted ones, just simply because they aren't going to rotate over time. And I'm just gonna keep wearing these exactly as they are, because I'm not gonna wear them ever again, so I might as well. The last thing that I get asked pretty consistently is how long is too long to wear your contact lenses. And generally, most doctors recommend a maximum wear time of 12 hours. For colored contact lenses, I usually recommend people take them off after about 8. Because colored contact lenses are a little bit thicker than your general lenses, what's going to happen is that they're going to block off a lot of the oxygen that gets to your eyeballs. Eyes don't get oxygen from your blood, particularly your corneas. They get oxygen from the air, and so contact lenses can block that off a little bit. Most contact lenses that are made and produced in places like Ireland is a major exporter of contact lenses. Not Hong Kong, is it Hong Kong? There's another country that does a lot of contact lenses as well. And this is one of the reasons why you want to research your dealers, is that some contact lenses are permeable, which means that air can pass through them relatively easily, and some contact lenses aren't permeable. Which kind of lenses you have and what their permeability is changes the amount of time that you can wear the contact lenses. I usually, like I said, recommend a maximum wear time of about 8 hours. Try and take them out for like an hour on the in-between, just simply because otherwise you're going to be reducing the amount of oxygen that hits your eyeballs. Several things that I didn't talk about because I don't have them is circle lenses and scleral lenses. Circle lenses are a little bit larger than your general lenses. They are anywhere between 14 point, I've seen as small as 14.0 and I've seen as large as 18 in diameter for lenses. Anything in the 16 to 18 millimeter range is generally considered circle lenses. I would not recommend wearing circle lenses for an extended period of time. I generally don't wear them for longer than 2 hours because I'm concerned about them scratching up my sclerals. Sclera is the white parts of your eyeballs, and those can get scratched pretty easily. When you scratch your sclera, unfortunately, it leads to a higher rate of conjunctivitis, which is pink eye. It's an infection of your eyeball, and it's not a very fun time for anyone involved when you have that. So I don't recommend wearing circle lenses because they do have a higher risk of scratching your sclera and causing infections and other issues. Scleral lenses, however, are a completely different ballgame. Scleral lenses are lenses that completely cover the whites of your eyes. These are lenses that you should only wear with the approval of your doctor because they are very difficult to fit, they are difficult to wear, they are difficult to put in, and they are easy as pie to remove. Taking them out is just done, but putting them in is a pain in the butt. If you're wearing scleral lenses, the only recommendation that I can have for you is to pull on your upper eyelid, slide the lens up under your eyelid, and then try and slowly pull down on your lower lid and kind of push it into place. Coming back with one last tip. I almost forgot to mention, check the expiration dates on everything that you purchase. So double check the expiration date on your contact lenses here, and double check the expiration date on any of your solutions, because if those are expired, throw them out. okay? It's very important. Check your expiration dates, keep an eye on them. Also check the use by dates on everything. So this particular contact lens solution, you're supposed to throw out 6 months. This lasts for 6 months. The contact lens drops, these ones you are supposed to discard 45 days after opening. And then these ones are monthly contact lenses, so they will last for a month before I need to throw them away. So double check the expiration dates and use by dates on all of the contact lenses and contact lens supplies that you use, okay? If you have any questions for me about wearing contact lenses and how to care for them, please let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear your questions. This is something that I'm actually really passionate about because it's something that really affects the community, and it's something that I have serious knowledge in. I was an optician for 2 years, so I taught people how to wear contact lenses, how to put them in, how to take them out, all that stuff for years. And I actually received training for this. So if you have questions for me, please do not hesitate to ask. But again, my knowledge is not a replacement for medical advice from a professional, okay? Always, 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 always refer to what your doctor says over any of my recommendations. These are just my recommendations that I have gone by over the last few years to help keep my eyeballs safe. So if you have any questions for me, please feel free to let me know in the comments down below. I would love to hear your questions and answer some of them about contact lenses. Please always remember, again, wash your hands before you put in and take out contact lenses. And always, always, when in doubt, take the contact lenses out. Thanks so much. You have a great rest of your day, and I hope to see you at the next con.